Big smiles. Hi.
And we're on.
I got really excited. I was like, 2 weeks away is too long. Yes, we are here. Hello, Wanderers. Happy New Year. If you're into that sort of thing.
Right.
I just realized how warm it is in here. Oh, let's turn that here. Hi, welcome. Hi, Natalie.
Hi, AJ.
And hello, Wanderers. Welcome back. We are so excited to be here for the new year with our first show of 2026. If you are new to Soul Wanderings, we invite you to visit soulwanderings.com. It's there where you can learn about myself and Natalie. We do a lot of really fun and soulful things. We live our life with purpose and intention. And we do that in a space called Vibes, Mind, Body, Spirit. And you can learn about that space by visiting Vibes Now. It's VIBEZNOW. Natalie focuses on grief and the human design system. 1010 recommend. And I assist people through trauma.
Yes, you do.
And healing their nervous systems. So good. So welcome back. We are here to soul wander. And it feels good. Did it feel like you were gone very long?
No. Like that time flies. It's just...
It went by so fast, didn't it?
It did go by.
But I still missed it. I was still like, hey, I'm ready to go back. Let's get some soul wanderings going. Let's do the thing. Hi, Nate. Hi, Bobby. Welcome. Thanks for hanging out with us on YouTube over in the chat area. We're also live on Facebook, you guys. So wherever you find us, hang out, stay a while. Tonight, we're going to talk about New Year, New You.
Yes, I love that spin on it.
New you? Question mark? But first, let's talk about what have you been up to on your break?
Geez, what have I been up to? I had this experience, and it's really funny because it makes me smile every time. So, a good friend of mine, she needed to have some Natalie time because that's people. My friends
It's a
need
thing that we require.
Yes, my friends would be like, I need some time. Do you have time? And then I can have that. And so she came over in my office space, and she was sitting across from me, and she said, you look suspiciously put together.
What is going on
like,
with you, woman?
That's good. I definitely feel like my experience in November definitely shifted. And as we've talked about before, but it's
So
nice to see that it was beneficial and integrated, and it looks like that from someone that can see me. I do trust my people around me to feedback. They feedback. They're like, "Oh, you're looking just like that. You're looking put together." I'm like, "That's good," because that's a lot of work.
Like, "You're so bright and shiny."
And going through the holidays was, as it always is for me, a bit bittersweet. It was different because I didn't, both holidays fell on Thursday. And so I didn't have my Thursday night group. That's one of my anchor points in my life. And as a 4, I like my stability and my foundational energy. So that was a little off. And I went through having both loneliness in my day through the holiday and enjoying company of people and moving through that energy and the emotions and not getting too hung up on any of the emotions. I experienced that in my life and got a few things done in my house. I took my kitties to my doctor, who I love, who does adjustments with them, and watching all of that and affirming that we don't have to stay. Oh my goodness. Even my cats don't have to stay with trauma. This doctor, he cleared trauma from my cat that she had when she was 3 months old. I don't know how he does this stuff, but it just blows me away. I just was like, oh, good. They did not like going. Cats are like, rah, rah, rah. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm like torturing.
You took them out of their home.
Out of their home.
It's scary out in the human space.
It is out in the human space. And they were just, and it's been nice. So those some of the things that I went through, just continuing my personal growth and watching how the experiences that I feel drawn into and go through, and then watch the result of that and just smile. It's nice. Not everything is easy to do, but wow, it is really good.
Rewarding.
Mhm. To pursue that in my own life and then watch the things that I have that I need to learn and grow from, that I need to adjust, and being good to myself and patient with myself, and
Yeah.
I'm starting the new human design season, and that's so exciting.
Oh my gosh. This will be my 4th season. I'm so excited.
And I get to do some advanced classes this year, for the people that have been coming regularly through it or that have been living human design. I get to go a little deeper, which is, I feel like that's going to be fun exploring.
Oh, for sure.
An additional challenge to teach at that little bit more advanced level.
I'm excited. I don't need the skills apparently, but I can't
No.
wait to have them.
Or the experiences. You have the experiences.
Per my design. I've wasted so
Right.
much time. You can tell I'm still hung up on that a little bit.
Oh, I know. Those aha moments. I like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, it's an aha moment. I'm not like dwelling on it. It's just a thing. Hi, Charles. I'm so happy to see you fellas popping in. It's so good to have you guys back. Thank you.
Our listeners are so good.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and it looks like Nate's going to be joining us. I've seen some of his conversations so online. Do it. It'll change your life. You get a lot just with Natalie one-on-one, but you also get a lot more additionally more by being in the classroom space because you learn a lot from each other. And it's nice to be around other types that are like you or, even that aren't that you're trying to understand. So the human design system is just freaking amazing. I try to put it in words. There's no words. It literally changed my life. So, I see it continually do that to so many people. It's not just me, but
Oh, it is nothing like, so I had a Zoom session this morning with a couple that I've worked with. It's their 3rd session with me. And the man was just saying, he's like, he has a little bit of dissonance inside of him, how to bring and incorporate human design along with all the other methodologies or frameworks that has been, and that's one of those things that say, I have these frameworks and how do I deal with this one? Is it fatalistic? And I said, no, it's actually mechanistic. It is so much easier to be in your skin when you understand the operating way that you are. Like you climb into a car, and if you don't know how the car operates, it's not comfortable to be in the car, driving the car. And these bodies of ours, it's just a lot easier to drive them when you realize that there's these basic things that say, okay, this is how this body of yours needs to be driven. Really? Yeah, experiment with it. Don't take my word for it. Just play with it. Experiment with it. And then when you start doing it, you're like, oh, what? I actually like myself better because I get rid of the other me that I didn't like.
The not self.
Yeah.
The cucka self.
I mean, it's so funny to listen to people when they give their not self a name. The alter ego.
I started that, I think.
I definitely passed that framework on, and people are like, I know my not self name.
Yep. I tell mine to F off all the time. I'm like, you don't belong here, dude.
You just sit over in that corner.
It's good. I love it. I'm so grateful. So if you guys are interested, you're local. We could even Zoom you in, or however that works. We have a way to do that. Reach out to us. You know all of our things. You can reach us here. Soul Wandering. So awesome. What a good time you had.
Yeah. How about you?
I met my 2nd grandbaby, and she's an angel face. And, Normally I'm posting on social. I just decided not just recently, ever since I posted my last announcement with my grandson that he's going to be a big brother. I decided that's the last picture of my babies that get posted online. So no more baby shares unless we're in person and you don't have my phone. I'm being like extra protective and I'm not mad about it. That's just the way it gets to be. So yeah, I got to meet her and hang out with my other grandchild and my son and his wife. And it was just a really beautiful, relaxing experience. And it allowed me a lot of time to process just the meaning of life, right? I'm watching my son have his family and seeing the dynamics there and like they don't need me. And I had to come to some, realizations and I've had some growing pains the last 3 weeks, and, it's all nothing's wrong, right? It's just
No.
the circle of life, the whole process of what is, and it it I think when we get to these milestones in life, it's like a lot of reflection of, like, where you've been and where you are now. So it just put me in a space of deep reflection over the last couple of weeks where I haven't had appointments. I've had a lot of alone time. Um, I've had a lot of headaches, which has caused me to be in bed. So I've had a lot of time to just like really sit with myself and really like connect with like who I am and where I'm going and repurpose my life, which I think was a good segue into going into our topic because I feel like a lot of people just, at the end of the year in general, have this thing where they will do a life evaluation like, what did I do this year? What did I accomplish this year? How can I improve? What can I do better? What are my goals? Some people set goals, some people set resolutions, and some people will do like word of the year. I used to do word of the year, like an intentional word of the year, and I still kind of resonate with that in a little way, only because there's a common theme going on, and so I hop onto it and ride that wave because it's what I'm designed to do. And none of it is right and none of it is wrong. And I think that's what we're going to talk about this evening is, some people go into the new year and they're like, this year I'm going to go on a diet. You see the gyms get all busy. You see people making resolutions to be a better friend or be a better partner or whatever that looks like. And, by end of January, end of March, people start falling off, going back into their routines. And then they are sat with all of these unmet expectations. And so I really want to talk about all of this because to me, resolutions are like saying something's wrong with me, something's broken in me that I've got to fix. So this year I'm going to fix that about myself.
Right.
And I just don't think we're broken. And so I don't see that there's anything to fix. Obviously, and we know this with the human design, is that it is all mechanics. And so it's just about fine tuning. And
Definitely.
that should never be a resolution or a goal. It's just something that you get to do because you have the opportunity to improve yourself
Mhm.
because you woke up this morning, not because January 1st rolled around.
Right.
You
I've
know,
been I've been telling people, "Do you know what happens on the new year? Nothing."
nothing. I know. And we're so conditioned to have it be a certain way. And that's okay, you guys. Listen,
Yeah.
I love traditions. And if you love holidays and you love the meaning behind them, go for it. If that's what brings you joy, we are definitely not saying don't do that. Do that. Do whatever makes you feel good. Because sometimes people like a fresh start. They like a brand new year. They like a new beginning. It gives them a reason to have purpose and to start over and to have a clean slate. And I think that's a beautiful thing. Also, you can do that tomorrow. You can do it at 8 o'clock tonight or wherever, not here, not in New York, but here, but not in New York. But you know what I mean? Like it can
Mhm.
happen at any moment. It doesn't have to happen on the new year.
Right. So one of the things I wanted to say a little bit with resolutions is oftentimes, and this is my understanding is deep and definitely with working with people to fine tune to what's their nature versus so the nature in the framework of human design is said these are the aspects that you're reliable and consistent in you. And a lot of times people want to overhaul the aspects that are simply a not self, not living according to their nature. Or it can be this attacking yourself and thinking you're weak in different aspects. So it can be a little misdirected what we're chasing after. So sometimes our resolutions can be well intended, but not sustainable because it's not really accurate. So sometimes you can be moving away from an aspect of your nature that really is you, and you're trying to undo what's natural in you. There's a lot of awareness that comes with design that says, okay, so me, for instance, when I know my motivation and I know the way that I'm designed to operate, and I know that I don't have the steady and consistent willpower. So if I wanted to overhaul and go against my nature, I'd be trying like I got to drive myself and be more willful, and I should be more driven and more active. And then that's against my nature, which is a more passive, really truly living in response approach that said I will do it when it's just in time processing. So if I wanted to say like I stop procrastinating, I needed to drive my train different, then I would literally go against myself and would end up more frustrated. And I wouldn't be successful in doing something that I intended to improve myself, which actually wasn't an improvement. And that's what often can come depending on what the resolution is. So I'm not anti-resolution either, but I really am about tuning an individual person towards themselves more.
That's the beautiful thing about human design.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's so individual.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's not like this blanket statement like new year, new you, exclamation mark. It's more like, as we put it, new year, new you, question mark.
Do you really need an overhaul or just
Do you?
to evolve a little bit?
Yeah. Do you? Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that you always bring the aspect of human design in, even if people aren't familiar, they can get a general understanding of how it can apply to their life. And just like how you explained it, they don't have to be familiar with human design to understand that, you know what? Yeah, maybe it's not for you. And to give yourself a little bit of grace and not
Mm-hmm.
be so hard on yourself when you are not the one who buys a brand new planner at the beginning of the year and gets really excited about it and only gets 3 weeks in and never touches it again for the rest of the year. That's not
Right.
me, but people do that.
Yes.
People do that, and they beat themselves up over it. Like, really, like, I can't ever complete what I started. I insert whatever expression here, and they literally tear themselves apart, and they're worse off then than they were at the end of the year where they were feeling defeated because they didn't meet previous set goals or resolutions.
So in my life, I would have people that I would admire. And so I went through this process. It was prior to human design. And so I would admire aspects of that someone else did not, and it seemed like they did it in an easy way. So I would try to align myself with that characteristic
Mm,
and strive to do that. So oftentimes I was trying to remake myself into another person
mm,
instead of appreciating the aspects that I brought naturally to a table. Now, this isn't an easiest thing to say, okay? So procrastination is one of those things that people often say, I'll resolve not to procrastinate. And I really am a root cause person. And in my work, even with myself, I'm like, we got to get into what's the underlying aspects that requires a lot of the things that we talk about. You gotta maybe forgive your younger self. Are we treating our younger self, the person who we think our younger self should have known, like our yesterday self? So we leave our yesterday self in the past because that's what we always do. Whenever we're always to the next moment, it's always in the past. So at the beginning of the year, people go, that old person who I didn't like, going to walk away from that person. I'm just going to suddenly become a new person.
mm,
And that's what we're challenging in this show, is to say, maybe that's not always the successful thing. It's about loving ourselves into a little bit better. Are you willing in a way? So let's say you want to improve your diet. And that's often a resolution. I'm just going to eat better. And,
yeah.
and so suddenly on January 2nd, because sometimes people don't want to start on the 1st, the 2nd or the 3rd, then they're like, a resolve to do this. And so they go buy a bunch of food that their body doesn't really want to eat. And then it doesn't work out because they haven't eased into something, or they're striving to acquire a diet that doesn't really resonate with them. So this is really in so many ways. So what we talk about is what's the resonance of of honoring your body and going with the flow of it and improving, because we
Mhm.
can eat a lot of crappy food, and maybe you just change a little bit at a time to shape whatever it is up. I mean, you can't just suddenly go to the gym and then end up with an injury that takes you off the track because you're going too hard at it. Instead, as a we want everything quick, quick, quick. And the reality is you have to climb into something that ends up being able to be sustained over time. So it's a new practice, and you got to practice at it. Love your
Mhm.
Yes, you're right. Love your failures. Or they're not even failures. They are entering in a new practice and definitely not being perfect right off the bat. So it
Right.
ends up not working out, and you're discovering how those new clothes are gonna fit, or how that new habit's going to integrate with, and you might not be willing to let go of some of the other things that have to make way for the new thing.
Genghis, here's our people, dance and music. Every
Do
week, I love it.
do the jazzercise.
And there are also practical ways if you go about new goals and new resolutions. So, say you make a whole list, right? Because people do that. This year, I'm going to do these 10 things. Realistically, you're never going to get that done in a day. You're never going to get it done in 30 days. So, I'm not sure why at the beginning of the year people think, oh, I'm going to go in and this time I'm going to get it. I'm going to get it. And I'm going to do all of these things all at once. So when you were talking about just start with, or you weren't saying just start, just you made a comment about, little steps or just doing little things. And I feel like that is so important, especially if you are the one that wants to do the goals or the resolutions or any kind of self improvement. We can't just stop sugar, stop carbs, stop drinking, all of these things that we want to get rid of in our bodies all in one day. You don't just start on January 2nd, okay, I'm not going to have those anymore, because that is not a realistic habit,
Right.
a way to break a habit. You've got to start with one thing and try it for a week or two, and then incorporate a next step, and then let go of something else. If you want it to be a realistic resolution or goal with a successful ending, there has to be baby steps. You didn't get to where you're at in any situation overnight. It took time, and it takes time to unwind the situation. And I love that
Right.
you reworded we don't fail. There are no failures, or you didn't look at it as a failure. I don't see any experience I have in my life as a failure, but only a learning experience, because you learn something when you go through what you would consider a failure. What did you learn from it?
Right.
If it gave you value in some way, even if it didn't have the outcome you were hoping for, it wasn't a failure. It was an education moment. And really it does come down to wording, in the way that we've talked about this so many times on Soul Wanderings, that your body is listening. So what are you telling it? What
Right.
are you saying to your body so that it amplifies, right? I want the good stuff, so I'm going to be very wise with the words that I use.
Right. And you have to, there's so many layers to habits. There are the actual our behavioral habits, what we actually do, and
Mhm.
then there's the thinking. And if we go to the framework of our thoughts form, our cells are listening, our thoughts are there, they form the reality. Thoughts actually are, it's a co-creative process where you're looking at what's happening inside, and your regular consistent thought patterns, they have to evolve, and that's a slower process than immediately. So we have to
Mhm.
keep working that thought pattern, and we have to unwind the old pattern, and we have to change up the culture that's on the inside of our mind, and we have to be able to walk that way and walk that way. And so
Mhm.
it's these processes, which makes sense to me. Some people may not be framed exactly that way, but it really does end up being like an acquisition of a new behavior. And those are not instantaneous. And so they'll look like these stumbles. Have you allowed in your resolution plan for some awkwardness? You just start, okay, so if I
That's
resolve,
just a given for me.
I think it's a given for most humans.
Let's be the more awkward, the better.
I remember reading in actually it was called book called The Fourth Way. It was the teachings of Gurdjieff, and he didn't write it. It was dictated from his lectures, and this was in the early 1900s. And he would say humans are so mechanical that you need to practice something over a period of time and
Mhm.
raise the awareness of whatever that practice is, to be able to then finally instill new mechanics into your life. So you have to have some stick to itness, and you have to have compassion and grace for yourself as you're going through the adjusting. And
Mhm.
oh my goodness, I have learned quite a bit about really being kind to myself um, over these last months. It's something that's just starting to show itself as an awareness inside of me, that when that I carry this. Okay, so from the human design, I have an undefined heart. The not self voice that comes out in my mind is that I need that if I'm not doing something a particular way, it says something about me. So I'm
Mhm.
saying, okay, so I love myself in just where I am. And this is in my own personal world. I've got to learn how to love my personal world for me to love all of it better.
Mhm.
Because I've lived in the same house for a long time. There's been a lot of life that's happened in that house. The echoes of that life are in so many places in my house,
Mhm.
and and clearing that and cleaning it up and moving through all that stuff at so many times in my life in this place have been really overwhelming, and sometimes it just shuts me down. I just get overwhelmed on trying to tackle everything that's there. And so it seems simple. Just start in one little place and overhaul that. Yep, that's a simple idea. And then I've got my passive approach to life, and I've got to go with that too. So I got to love myself and go, okay, well, I approach it. If I don't have the energy to do a task, I I just allow myself, like, okay, that's not a now thing. And from learning the design, I say, I don't have the energy to do that. I don't have to push myself to do that. I trust that I will have the energy. And when it's the right time, it will happen. And I've found some ground. I can find my footing in that. And it feels comfortable to approach things in that way. And then there's also the awareness that my work, I have to tell you, I have to remind myself often, the kind of work that I do is not an everyday job.
No. No.
I go into people's literal wilderness that they're living in and guide them through those places. And sometimes in my life, I don't give myself enough room to like unwind from that. I was just telling you before the show, whoo, I go from this place that I've just been. Okay, breathe, ground myself. Okay, next thing.
Yeah.
And that was a wilderness I was just in 20
Yeah.
minutes before the show.
I felt it through the walls. I'm over here like, oh, let's love on whoever that is.
Thank you for doing that, because that person does need some love. She's definitely making a go of what some people have to do in their life to overcome. My heart just is full of compassion.
Yeah.
Oh, and for everyone, I wanted to talk a minute about sometimes, because I've had some people in my life. This year started off with a bang for us in this country in lots of different ways. And this is one of those years. So if we're talking
people
about
are reacting to it.
the energies of this year, it's going to carry some chaos and so I have a good friend of mine who's really going through it, and I felt the wake of her, and just having compassion for when people are really going through it. I've been in different places like that with political and cultural events or global events. I've been caught up in my own turmoil with things that are going on, and trust getting clarity over time. And that's not always so easy. So one of my thoughts was that I pull myself back into my circle of influence and really be clear about where my influence lies.
Right.
And some of my grounding through that was just in this last week, was, okay, I need to be present for the people like my client that is going through her personal wilderness today. That's my circle of influence. So I know that's where I need to be having my energies available for. And that could be not so easy to get pulled off into to a lot of the things that are going on in the greater world.
Yeah.
Like breathe. This is what you say, the breath. Be here now. Gotta be
exactly what I say.
Be here now.
Right. There's nothing we can do. We have no control over what's going on. And I understand like the depth of emotions and feelings that are happening with people right now that are really, really struggling with things that are going on in the world. I get it. Like, I understand the energy behind it. And also, I'm just kind of in my own little world. And people may say, like, oh, I'm naive or I'm oblivious, or I've heard all kinds of things. With people always have a response to you when you make them uncomfortable, because I have an ability to just not give a, because it doesn't concern me in my reality, in this bubble that I live in. Does it affect me? Yes. It affects the people around me, which affects me. It affects my income. It affects my, what I buy at the store now, or what I choose not to spend and splurge on now. I mean, there's a lot of things that it affects, right? But the reality is we only have, if you are even wanting to control, and I'm doing everything I can not to have any sense of control over anything other than it is something. Yeah, because it is something that, I like things a certain way. And so my life lesson in the last few years is I just have to be here. I have no control over what's going on outside of my personal bubble. And then, like, my people bubble, I don't have any control over. But I control how it affects me and how I navigate my way through. And I think it's really important for us to, like, pull back because, you know, I feel like even with the holidays, a lot of people just shut down this year. It's a
Yeah.
different vibe.
Yeah.
People weren't shopping as much. People weren't doing parties or giving gifts. Like, it was just like, "Oh, we have to do this thing again." And people feel the need that they have to. They put all of this weight of the expectation of the holidays. And if we were to just, like, we talk about giving ourselves grace and to bringing peace into our lives and being here in this present moment. If we can let go of those worldly things, those worldly expectations, the the amount of all of that other negative stuff decreases significantly. When you're like, "You know what? I'm not gonna do the holidays this year. I'm not spending useless money. I would love to spend time with my friends and family, but let's just hang out and vibe together. Let's let's make memories." Like, turn it out of the expectation that it's always been because it's all commercialism. It's all run by corporations, which is all involved with the government and all of that. All of them, they don't care about us, you guys. Now I'm gonna get on a rampage about this because it just doesn't matter. We're in a video game. They're all fictional characters. The movie's already been played out. We're just waiting for the ending. So, like, I get that the feelings and emotions are very, very real for people, and they're really, really, really into it. And that's when I really desire more than anything for them to just pull that energy back and come back to themselves. Just be here. Just be here. What does it feel like right here in your body? And what can you do about any of that right now? Let's just be here. And
Right.
again, connect to the breath. That's so important. And and I lost the rest of what I was going to say because I started thinking about all that other crap that just makes my blood boil and I'm working on because I'm just like, okay, enough already. We're done. Let's stop. Let's stop torturing us, please.
Well, I think that's an example of actually when we get pulled off of your own sort of ground um, by these different events that are happening somewhere else.
Yeah.
And I do want to say that if any individual, they will be shown an opportunity to affect. If you have in your own life an opportunity to affect a greater aspect of it, it'll be available for you to put your energy towards. That's what I really want to impart, to say you're showing up for your community, for the space that you live in, and that's the corner of the world that you do make an impact on. And your energy is available for you're muted.
I said thanks for bringing us back.
So that part that said, okay, no, this doesn't mean that everybody, no, some people do have a role to play in the various aspects that are going. And if it's your turn and your opportunity, or there's a role for you to play, it'll be available for you. But so often people get caught up with fear and anxieties that drive action that isn't appropriate action, because fear or anxiety isn't meant to take action from. It's meant for us to become more intelligent. And the more intelligent that we become, the more we make an improvement in our own personal world and in the lives of others that are around us. And that's what it's here for, is to say, well, I'm going to shine my light in my corner of the world. I'm going to see what kind of an effect that can have on the greater world, because we've talked on this show, raise your frequency, change your world.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we're responsible to be here. We're on the show. We're talking about, we're here to commune with each other in an intelligent way.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how you demonstrated how it just took you off of track. And it's like, whoa, that's a distraction.
Yes.
Come back and come back to where, and don't get Some of that is distraction, some it's touch in and come back and be in your own space, improve your corner of the world.
Yes. And yeah, I was getting there.
I know. You're going to add more to this.
Well, yeah, I just, my humanness, I get very passionate about when so if you're feeling all of this fear, you're in the future. And if you're having all of this anxiety, you're in the past. And neither place do you belong.
Right.
Period. And so I think for me, where I get like really passionate and I start getting like angry about it. Well, I'm a manifester, so my not self is anger, but also it is a very useful tool as a manifester to get my passion out there. So that's just who I am. But second of all, like I I do care about my people and what they're going through. And when I see my clients or friends and family suffering, and it's something that they actually can stop themselves, and some people just don't know how to get out of their own way. I get really passionate about that because I just want to like not physically hurt you. I want to shake you and be like, guys, I've been there. I know I was my worst enemy for so long, but let me help you be your best friend. Like that's why I get so passionate about it, because we are so inherently hard on ourselves, and we just naturally set ourselves up for failure because we just don't believe in ourselves.
Right.
We may want something, but the belief just isn't as strong as it needs to be for us to accomplish the thing, because we get to believe in us. And so I do get really passionate when I see people getting in their own way, because I'm just like, get off. You don't have to do that to yourself. It's just as simple as that, but also it's not simple. It is a
Right.
practice. And so, yeah, I do get carried away. Oh boy. I'm a big feeler, you guys. And when I love big. So I'm just like, get over here. Let me show you how to love yourself. Yeah. Anyway. It's good. It's really good. So, as a New Year's New You topic, what would be some advice or tips or something that you would give to our listeners as a New Year information?
Okay,
What do you have to offer our people, Natalie?
so this is a 1 year. So this adds up to 10, which adds up to 1. So this is a 1 year. And in the framework of numerology that I come from, ones have to do about overcoming issues that have to do with creativity and confidence. This is a very creative year. There's going to be a lot of opportunities and this availability to be creative and bring new things in. There's going to be a lot of chaos because as things shut down or as the old is pushed out and the new is coming in, there tends to be chaos. But that's very creative energy. So watch for issues or things that are maybe destabilizing in confidence and creativity that might look to block creativity, and realize that we're here for this year to overcome issues that might block creativity and might undermine your confidence. So that said, this is a year to hold to practices that work for you, or to deepen your practice that works for you this year. It's important for you to hold on. This is probably a year to find a way to keep your body healthy, even if that doesn't mean like bodybuilding and that kind of stuff. It means keep your body as healthy as you can. Be available for life.
Yeah, be good to yourself.
Yeah, be good to yourself. So that's part of building the confidence. And it's a good thing that we said, look, not everything is a failure. Maybe it's an attempt that you haven't quite finessed yet So you doing so what went right and what didn't go right, and you're discovering and refining your processes. And watch for the chaos. And in chaos, it can feel destabilizing, but even if it's just your breath, even if it is just your breath,
There
that
is
is the
no
most
just.
right. But for the listeners, when they're like, what does just breathing do? Well, if you haven't practiced breath work, you don't realize how grounding it can be. If you're feeling anxious because everything looks like it's all falling apart, breathing through that anxiety. Earlier today, I was talking to someone about fear. I've been studying fear in the human design system because I'm going to teach on that. Now, fear is something when we look closer at something we're afraid of, we actually can grow our intellect and come out of that more intelligent because we raise our awareness to the environment around us. There can be some simple things that says, well, what does my world look like? Everything's going to crap. I hear this often. The world's going to hell in a handbasket. And I said, do you see this hell? What? Look around you. Does that look like hell to you? Look up. I told someone, it's like, maybe you're just looking down too much and you look up. When we look up, actually, like look at the sky, our brain actually can push things to run down our spinal fluid and get flushed out of our body instead of pulling up here in our frontal lobe.
Go look at the sun.
Look at the sun. Look at the sun, or look at the stars, or look up. Sometimes we just need to look up and see that there's more of a world than looking down, which is a very narrow focus. There's more to the world than all those things. Oh yes, put the phone down. Drop the technology because it's feeding you what the system. I mean, the algorithms are a real thing.
I mean, they really are. And you get sucked in hard. And also, you guys, it's just the way of the world now. So enjoy it, but set a timer.
Yeah.
Like I have such mixed feelings on media
Technology.
because I am so grateful for it. Like, look, we get to hang out here with all of these amazing human beings.
Right.
That is so rad. Like, thank you. So good. And also, like, being able to connect with people from all over the world, make new friends, or keep in touch with your family, like all things in moderation.
So what's your feel on this year? If we're looking at this expanse in front of us the next 300 some odd days.
It's going to be intense, really intense. So I went into the records less than a week ago. I get in these really crazy amounts of pain. And when I do, I kind of check out of my body. And that's when I really like to go like astral traveling or go into the records if I have the strength to, because it's just such a stronger, clearer channel. I don't know how to explain it, but it just is. So anyway, I didn't have like the energy to write it all down, but what the vibe I got on it is there's going to be like a lot of intense experiences, things that we've never seen in all of history. Like, we're going to see things happen and our jaws are going to drop to the floor. Like, we didn't see this coming. I feel like there's an element of surprise, but also I believe like worldly, like things are getting cleansed. There's a lot of cleaning that's happening. When you brought up the word creation with the number 1, I feel like it's that, like it's like the words aren't coming to me, but it's like, if we were to have a huge like a hurricane or a flood and everything just came in and washed it and we're just left with these remnants and coming back together again. So everything that we thought mattered is gone, but we get to have opportunities to find out what really does matter when we come together as, pods or community or, soul family, tribes, however that looks. I feel like things are going to start going back to that way more and more as we see like agencies, governments, corporations, things like that are not our friends. They're not for us. And so we're going to go into these smaller pod units and really start helping and supporting one another. I see that happening more and more, and like people who have skills and trades and things like that are going to start working with each other more, like bartering or teaming up to do joint ventures together. Things are going to be more community focused. I get that really strong. As far as like for ourselves, I think a lot of people is trying as times as these are right now. I feel like a lot of people aren't just going inward because being out in society is feels unsafe more so than ever. It's giving them a it's giving them an opportunity to be home more, which is connecting the family unit even more strong than before because we have fallen apart with our family units. Devices have gotten in the way, social media has gotten in the way. There's a lot of unhealthy humans trying to have uh big relationships. Like things like that are going to start like fading away. Like the dark is going to come to the light. So if you have like people who are having like you see a lot of like dishonesty, people in relationships that don't have integrity, that are, being dishonest, things like that, that's all going to come to the light. People are going to become more fiercely independent on their own. Um,
Mm.
I feel like they're just not going to rely on one another, even though I talk about like people coming together as society as like pods, that is going to happen, but also like what can you do for yourself? If there was a situation that was going to happen, how would you survive? And I think people even unconsciously are making those choices. Like, what if something happened? What would I need to do? How would I navigate this? So I see a lot of that when I went into the records, a lot of this year is a big year for rebirth, change and rebirth. Like if it's like a clean slate, and you will, when you say it's a number one, I love that you said that because it is. It's starting over. We're starting over.
Yeah.
So if there's something that you've wanted to do, manifesting that this year is going to be a lot easier than years before because the energy is like the universe is saying, hey, I'm here, I'm supporting you, and you're learning to trust that. And whatever is meant for you will find its way to you a lot easier. It happens anyway, but the process is usually more drawn out. Now it's going to happen faster. Things are going to be happening faster. Your thoughts are going to turn into action faster. So it's going to be really important for you to be very aware of the thoughts that you're thinking and the things that you're saying out loud. The other thing I see is a lot of like creative energy. I think you brought that up, creative energy. If there's something that you guys have wanted to do, build, be, learn, see, whatever, do it. Now is the time. There's no better time than the present moment. So if you wanted to take that art class, or you wanted to go back to college at 60 years old, or if you wanted to travel from one end of the country to the other, now is the time to do it. Like, yes, things are expensive. Yes, things are uncertain. So, what better time than now? I just think there's a lot of new energy, a lot of new excitement, and I'm really excited for it. This year, I just feel like I've been hiding away so much. And this year, I'm just like, I'm not going to do that anymore. Like, I love my peace and quiet, and I definitely am having that. But as a manifester, I'm definitely getting a lot of downloads. And instead of going, yeah, I'll do that one day, I'm like, oh, how can I make that happen? And so it's really exciting to like, the more work you do on yourself, the more clear you become, especially if you use the human design system. And I think it's just really powerful, the way that this year is going to move through us and for us. And if I could say anything, hold the people you love close and tight. Things are going to be really rocky.
Yeah.
But the clouds will part. They always do. It's going to be good. I'm excited. I'm
Just
excited.
yes. To add to that, resilience is a skill, the ability to bounce, of being the rubber ball versus an egg. So if you have a rubber ball and you have an egg and you drop them, you want to be the rubber ball and not the egg. And this is a year where there could be different things that could break people. And especially if there's things like, to say that there are things that will come to light that will make our jaws drop. It's I have felt in my own self like a few moments of like, oh my gosh, I catch my breath going, am I going to be able to make it through? Because to be in the times where this stuff is happening really is a bit breathtaking.
Absolutely.
So I'm grateful for the foundation that I have, and learning that I can trust myself, and knowing those aspects of myself I can really rely on, and bringing that and just holding on to that. So it's like holding on and hold on to what's reliable inside of me, and knowing I have what it takes. I chose to be born at this time. These are exciting times to live in. Sometimes the excitement is like, holy crap. But knowing that, and then building that resilience, and resilience simply means sometimes we need to be a little patient for clarity. And knowing that clarity comes over time, and we can be pulled into something and think, oh yeah, it's all falling apart. Yep. Things fall apart to come together differently.
So good. I love when they fall apart. Not during.
When you have the tarot deck and you get the Tower card, that can be such a card that can be profound to get in a spread if you get the Tower card. And some people are like, yay, I got the Tower card. Hold on for a minute, but it'll cut.
I love the Tower card. I got the Tower card on repeat last year in January. Do you remember? I had a few readings, a few experiences in January, because talk about a falling apart moment when everything fell apart so it could fall back together differently. Whew, that Tower card came up so much, and I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful.
Forewarned is forearmed.
Yeah, so good. All right, guys. Well, before we go, I want to remind you that you can pick a show topic. And if you have a topic request, all you have to do is email us at connect@soulwanderings.com. You can also connect to us at soulwanderings.com. You can also connect to us at vibesnow.com. I'm popping them up quick. Just visit soulwanderings.com. You can connect to us there. We pick show topics, but we also love when you have them. So come at them with us, to us, for all of us. You know what to do. Do the thing. If you haven't already, make sure you like, subscribe, comment, share, whatever you feel called to do to support us. We truly appreciate it. We're so, so, so grateful. And I just want to make a little announcement. It's kind of a side thing, but if you guys have fun just hanging out and talking with us, I, by myself, will be creating art on live TikToks in just 2 weeks, where I'm just going to be hanging out and just talking while I work on projects, because I know some of you know I do a lot of crafty, artsy things and sell them online and in the boutique. So while I'm doing that, I just thought, hey, why don't we just hang out and talk? So that's going to be a thing. If you're interested in knowing more, let me know. But I'm really excited. This year's going to be so much fun.
Look at you. You really are doing that creative.
Oh, yeah. I fought it for so long, and people have been telling me for years, you need to. And I just said, yeah, nah. But it really resonates with me right now. So that's what I'm going to do for me, because I want to. So if you're on TikTok, you guys. Good. Okay. All right. Let's wrap it up. We can share that stuff later. We hope you guys have the best week. And we'll see you guys all next Wednesday, the 14th, with a new show topic, maybe one that you chose yourself. And yeah, 6 p.m. Mountain, 8 p.m. Eastern. We'll see you guys all next time. Have a good night.
Have a good one.
Goodbye.